friends, it's Fadwa here and welcome to my first video on the Hotties channel. If this is the first video that you see in this hot mess of a series that we're doing in the month of July, welcome to the shit show. By the time my video goes up, there are probably going to be quite a few reading vlogs already up. I know that Maltese is already up, which is a mess. I highly encourage you go to watch that if you haven't already. I think Cassidy's is probably also going to go up before mine, and I don't know who else. We're going to see. But if you haven't seen those videos and don't know what this vlog is about, basically the hotties are making each other read books. This collab concept started as us making each other read our favorite books. It was supposed to be wholesome, it was supposed to be sharing the love for books, but then everything descended into madness. We decided that each one of us was going to enter one good and one bad book into a spreadsheet, and then we were going to make a generator choose which book we were going to read. So there is like a 50% chance that you're going to get someone's bad book. And considering how the hotties have been cursing each other out, how everyone is at each other's throats, I think that most of them got a bad book. But I got a good book. I am feeling very blessed because I don't have to suffer through some shitty books like Monty with Obsidian and all of the others with their books. I don't know what they're reading because we're not revealing what we're reading until our vlogs go up respectively, and then we won't reveal who put which book in the spreadsheet until a live show at the end of the month. It has been a mess trying to figure out who hates us in the group chat to like put such awful books, but I'm considering myself lucky because I got a book that I'm actually enjoying and a book that I was wanting to read for a long time, especially this month. So yeah, I'm really happy. This also means that compared to all the other hotties, or like over half of them, my vlog is probably going to be very boring because it's just going to be a little old reading vlog where I'm just going to express my opinions about the book that I'm liking. And yeah, the book that I got is Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson, and I'm listening to this one on audiobook. I started it earlier today when I was cooking, and it's a pretty fast audiobook. I listen to audiobooks at 2x speed, and it's only 5 hours, so like I only have 2.5 hours of listening time to finish it, and I'm already halfway through it, or like 42% through it. Honestly, I'm really liking this book. This is a book about a black girl who is also fat and she's poor, and she goes on scholarship to this private school, so she doesn't really fit in there. She doesn't really get along with many people. She doesn't hang out with a lot of people at her school. Like, she does hang out with them. She's not like your typical lonely high school YA book main character, but also she doesn't connect with them. She doesn't really relate with them. She just spends her day with them, hangs out with them, talks to them, and then goes home to her real friends who like she has a lot of things in common with. So at the beginning of the book, our main character Jade gets chosen for this mentorship program where she gets paired up with an older black woman to like mentor her through everything in life. And yeah, I got a phone call, so I had to stop filming for a bit. I think I was talking about the writing. I was saying that Jade, the main character, is an artist. She does collages and stuff like that. I think she paints as well, and I feel like that the author really nailed down the way she wrote her voice. Like, when you read from her voice, you can feel that from her lens and the way she sees the world and the way she interacts with the world, that she's really an artist. She has kind of an artist way of looking at things. And I also like the fact that the audiobook is narrated by the author. If you follow my channel, you know that I love audiobooks that are narrated by the author. They hit different. They really hit different. Yeah, this book also, I like that without it focusing on black trauma, it still discusses the issues that black people face in our day-to-day lives. Like, this shows how blackness and poverty intersect, and how someone who is black and poor doesn't have the same experiences as someone who is black, like from middle class or like well off, and how even though they might intersect in some experiences, in some other experiences, they're probably not the same. I also liked how at one point this book was set during Thanksgiving time, and I liked how it tackled the fact that Thanksgiving is kind of a vicious holiday, and that it's not really a holiday that's meant to be celebrated, or that it doesn't mean what people think it means, and that it's kind of violence against indigenous people, because basically the holiday celebrates settlers and white people when they came to the US. So yeah, I really appreciated the author doing that, because I've read my fair share of books set around Thanksgiving, and rarely do they acknowledge the fact that Thanksgiving isn't the beautiful, peaceful holiday of thankfulness that people make it out to be. That yes, you can be thankful during the holiday and spend time with your family and stuff like that, but you gotta acknowledge the origin and the implication of the holiday. That's something I really liked about it. I just really like Jade's voice, and how it's not only shaped by her passion for art, but also by her experiences and how she views the world. And I really liked reading about her friendships. Like, she has a childhood best friend who she's known from when she was a kid, and she's black like her, but she also made another friend this year when the book started at school, and she's white. And although both are her best friends, they're her best friends in different ways. They both understand different parts of her life that the other doesn't necessarily understand. There's so many things that are implicitly talked about and discussed in this book without them being in your face. They're just things in day-to-day life that you pick up on while you read the book. And yeah, those are the things that I read until now and that I loved until now. This is a pretty easy read. I feel like a lot of people said that this was a super emotional book or something like that. I don't know if I'm a hard ass or if I need someone to smack some emotion into my heart, but I'm not really feeling the impactful emotions that people have been talking about. I am only a little less than halfway through the book, so maybe they're going to come into play later, and we'll see. We're going to see. But honestly, regardless, even if this book doesn't make me shed one single tear, I'm still going to like it because it's a really good book. Now I'm going to go and update you whenever I read more. Hello, now is the next day. I am listening to Piecing Me Together. I am doing sprints with Erin and everyone else over on Erin's channel. First of all, her live sprints were dismantled by YouTube for no reason. We don't know why. So we had to move from her, what's it called? Bookish channel to her lifestyle channel, and now we can read in peace because some asshole kept reporting her lives and they kept getting shut down by YouTube. But yeah, that's besides the point. I am annoyed with Maxine in this book. Maxine is Jade's tutor, and she's black as well, but she's from a more privileged background. Like Jade's family lives in poverty. Her mom works like 3 jobs as a housekeeper, and like they're struggling with money and stuff like that, and they also live in a poor neighborhood. But Maxine's mom or dad, I think it's her mom, is a surgeon, and she went to private school without a scholarship, and she grew up very sheltered, and it shows in the way that she talks and the way that she's not aware of her privilege or what her privilege allows her to have and stops other people from having. Like she was talking to Jade about people from Jade's neighborhood not going to North Portland or something like that, like the artsy place with the museums and stuff like that, and Jade was trying to explain to her how some people don't have a car, some people don't have time, and even when people have a car, sometimes they have to be careful with gas because money doesn't grow on trees, and they have to leave gas for like their more important trips to places that are important. And she was trying to explain to her why, like, how museums, like for example, are expensive and how people wouldn't be able to afford them. And then she brushed her aside and she was like, well, they don't have to go to the museum, they can go to many other places that do not require money, or places that have discounts, or like the museum has discount. And she kept like hearing Jade but not listening to her, and that was kind of annoying. Not in a bad way necessarily, like because you can see that it's kind of part of the narrative. The author is trying to show that difference, like just because everyone is black doesn't mean they have the same experiences, and that blackness intersects with other things like class, and how poor black people have it different and worse than black people with money. And yeah, I feel like it's going to be a learning experience for her, and it's going to be a growing experience for both her and Jade, and I'm really excited to see where that's gonna go, because even though I'm annoyed with her, I can see why the author made those choices, and they fit the narrative, if that makes sense. So that's the update that I have. I haven't read much today. I just like, we have done 3 sprints so far, I think, but in the other 2 or like 4, I don't know. Anyway, all the sprints that we did before now, I did not read. I was captioning my video that's supposed to go tomorrow, and I'm finally done with that. So now I can read, and I'm finally sitting down and doing some Patreon stuff while I listen to my audiobook. I hate rich people. Maxine just used Jade to prove something to her parents. She took her home with her, and then she had an argument with her mom, and she was like, I brought Jade here so that you can see that I'm doing something good and worthwhile with my life. And Jade heard her. Why would you say something so in front of Jade at that? And then her mom made a flippant comment about how she doesn't care about Jade's sob story. Money really rots people's brains. It really does. Good morning, friends. Today is Wednesday, I think. It's been a few days since I last updated, but it's because I haven't been really reading or like listening to the audiobook of Piecing Me Together. But I finally finished it this morning, like while I was getting ready for work. I am currently on my way to work, and I really liked it. It was a really good, solid story. Like, I expected to love it a bit more than this, because I saw all the opinions that I saw is that this book made people super emotional, and it just tugged at their heartstrings and whatever, and I love books that make me feel like that, but this one didn't just really hit the mark for me. I loved it. I loved the story. I loved the theme it explored. I loved all the relationships that Jade has in the book, especially with Lily and Maxine and what's her face? Sam. I also liked her friendship with Sam, even though like it kind of explores racism and how white people, even when they're not directly racist, they can be complicit and make like black people feel invalidated, and like they're overreacting in their reactions to racism, and in race playing factor in basically everything that you do in life. But yeah, I really liked that. I also liked how with Maxine there was a discussion with of internalized racism. That was nice. And like I said, this book discusses a lot of these harder topics, but without being super overwhelming or like being basically a trauma book, because it's not. It's just basically a coming of age story about this teenager who finds like her people, and who finds her voice, and who grows, and you know, she learns to love and embrace herself, and also love the art part of it, like how she's an artist and how much art meant to her, and how much she expressed herself through art, and how much support she got for her art, because it's refreshing. A lot of the YA books that where the characters love art, a lot of the time they kind of invalidated in their love for art, and people don't really support them most of the times in a lot of books. Because I can't remember another, I know that I've read some, like, don't get me wrong, but I can't remember another book where, like, off the top of my head, where the main character loved art and was fully supported for it as something that they want to do with their spare time, or like they want to focus a lot of their time on. I think those are basically my thoughts. I'm also close to the hospital, I think. That's all I had to say. The audiobook was also good because it was narrated by the author, so there was a lot of emotion put into it, and I liked the narration style. I'm at the hospital, so now people are about to see me talk to the camera like some insane person. But I don't care. It's fine. Anyway, that's about everything that I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, even though, like I said at the beginning, I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot more boring than those from the other people, because I don't have any strong feelings for this book besides the fact that I really liked it. What are you doing, sir? What the fuck are you doing, sir? There's this person who just stopped in the middle of the road at the hospital. I don't get why, but anyway, yeah, that's about it. Now I gotta go park my car and then go to work. But yeah, bye bye.